Hello, my front porch art friends, and welcome to our lesson on falling leaves. Very excited about this lesson because it means fall is coming. And it's hot right now, but pretty soon it'll cool off and the leaves will fall off the trees. So in your kit, you have leaves that we made for you. They're cutouts of what a real leaf would look like. You have a maple leaf, an oak leaf, different kinds of leaves. And maybe when the leaves do start falling, you can go look around your yard and see if you can find some of these shapes, maybe play a matching game. But for this art project, we're gonna take out our leaves and our crayons. You have a piece of watercolor paper that's taped on to what we call a resist piece of paper. And it's gonna give you a nice white line when we're done. So leave it taped to the paper till we're done and I'll let you know when to pull it off. Okay, pull out your black crayon. Everyone got a black crayon. And sort of play with your leaves for a minute and maybe see what arrangement you would like to make on the paper. Just kind of get an idea of how they're all gonna fit. And then when you're done playing with them or placing them, pull them off. Maybe pull them off near where you're gonna put them. And then leave the few that you're going to start tracing on the paper. And remember, we can layer these. It actually will give it a cool effect. So I think I'll start with this bigger one in the middle. And you're going to take your black crayon and you're going to hold this in place and you're going to trace around the edge of the leaves. And if you're having a hard time holding it in place, you could just put a little piece of tape on it to hold it for you that you can pull off later. Okay, so that's one. I'm gonna pull that one off. And then I think I'll put this one over here. This one has a lot of points on it. And you can go right on the tape if you want it to look like it's coming off the edge. See, it is sliding around. So again, go ahead and put a little piece of tape to hold it in place. Doesn't have to be perfect, just do the best you can outlining it. Okay, and pull that one off. See, I've already started layering. I put the stem over the other one. And I think this one I'm gonna just kind of layer it right on top, putting it right on top of a leaf I already drew. Pull that one off. And I think I'll put one down. And you can just kind of turn them different ways, kind of like you'd see if leaves were falling. They wouldn't fall all neatly. They'd fall in a big messy pile. Okay, now I've got some of these little ones too. I'm gonna put I think I'll put a little one right here. Maybe I'll put another little one down here. And I have another little one I'll put right next to this one. Okay, here we go. And everyone's is gonna look different, of course, because you're gonna lay them how you wanna put them down and then go ahead and layer some of them. All right. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is add some veins to our leaves. Now, when you look at a real leaf, and you could go outside and get one to see what I'm talking about, it has the veins running up and down the back. So we're gonna go ahead and draw. You got a second crayon, it's a light colored crayon. Or you could try a white one. I have a white crayon, so I'm gonna try that. I won't see it on the white paper, but I will see it when I watercolor later. So that might be fun to try both of those effects. So I'm just gonna go ahead and with my crayon draw in some veins. Like I said, you won't see mine because I used a white crayon, but if you used a yellow or a peach or a different color, you will see it. And then I think I might even put some like little swirls in my background. Maybe it's a windy day. All right, now I'm ready to watercolor paint. So get your watercolor paints out and your water, a little bowl of water, and your watercolor paintbrush, and I always like to keep a paper towel to dry my brush off or to blot up any extra water. And let's start by painting our leaves first. So I'm gonna go ahead and wet my brush, and I'm gonna wet the leaf a little bit first. And that's called wet on wet. I'm wetting the paper, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wet my paint and put that right on there. And that is called wet on wet watercolor. Ooh, look, that's already starting to show the little veins I drew in with my crayon. So water resists the wax in the crayon, so it will not paint over it. So it gives this really cool look of the veins. See that? I like that. And then I'm gonna rinse my brush, dry it a little bit. And then I think I might go back in and get a little red. You know how in the fall and the leaves get some pretty reds in them along with the oranges? It's just so colorful in the fall. Maybe I'll go back in and add a little red to this one. Oh, I like that. Okay, now I think I'll go on to the next one. And I'm gonna do water again. And I'm gonna go in this time, and maybe this is more of a green leaf. I'm gonna do green. Maybe to this one I'll add a little yellow. It's kind of cool to add two colors and see what happens when they mix with the water. So there's my second one. And again, cool how you can see the white veins showing through. Okay, now I'm gonna go on to this one. And I think I might make the base of this one brown, because there's definitely brown leaves out there. Of course, this is your artwork, so you can make any color leaves you'd like. So I think I might go in and add a little yellow again. See, ooh, that kind of looks like a burnt leaf. Dried up and fell off the tree. Just have fun playing with the colors right on your leaves. Because if you didn't like it for some reason, you just take your paper towel, it's still wet, and you can just dab it up. All right, now I think I'll go and grab some, how about I just do like purple. There's definitely purple leaves out there, I've seen them. I mean, I really have seen leaves in so many different colors. I think all these colors would work. Maybe add a little red to that. Ooh, now it's kind of like a violet leaf color. See that? And then I'm gonna do this other one over here. Maybe I'll make this one green too. Now, I am applying water to each leaf before I paint it. It makes the colors a little bit lighter. If you add other colors, they blend easier when you already have the paper wet. See that? Now let's say I didn't wet this first. Let's see what that looks like. My brush is pretty wet, but it definitely is darker. See that? You get a little bit of a darker color when you don't wet the paper first. Wow, that looks so pretty. I cannot wait for fall because really, that just is a picture of fall, isn't it? The last step I'm going to show you is you're going to want to make sure your brush is clean for this. So go ahead and wipe it off and dry it with a paper towel. And I'm going to carefully go in and just wet the white spaces that I have left, just with water. Just going to go in. Already painted my leaves. You know, if some of it gets on the leaves, that's okay. It's going to be beautiful no matter how many colors mix together, because that's the nature of this watercolor project. So I'm going to go back in and just add a little water in these white areas. And then you're going to take a new color. So I think I'm going to get blue. I'm just going to kind of go in. Remember, I made those swirlies to make it look like it was windy. And I'm going to go in and paint a little sky. So the paint leaves were twirling in the sky. So easy to paint with watercolors like this. You're literally just getting a little bit of paint on the brush, just painting those white areas. Wow, looks good. Now, if I think I have a little too much water, I can go back in and, you know, just dab some of it up like I mentioned earlier. I really like the way it looks. And we have some fall leaves twirling around in the blue sky. And when it's all dry, you can peel off your paper, and then it'll have a nice little white frame around it. And then your kit came with a piece of black cardstock that you can mat it on, and that's gonna look so beautiful, and you can hang it up somewhere in your home. Thanks for joining today.